All right. Welcome everyone to the first of its kind XBuild webinar. This is pretty cool. We've got a full day. We've got a lot of people coming in, so let me see what we got here. Welcome everyone. Got 33 people in here so far. That's pretty good. This is pretty awesome. And then we also have Sharuk with us.
Hey everybody.
So I'm excited to get this going. So give everyone a chance to stream in. I know we started a couple minutes late here. I apologize for that. It was something silly on my part that, I messed up. So, but yeah, everyone's coming on and we're going to have fun. So let me, let's get started here. So we're going to have a pretty good day today. We want to definitely connect with you guys, give you guys some resources, some different use cases, help you guys understand the vision behind XBuild and what we're trying to do and how that's going to potentially make your business better. And it's pretty revolutionary stuff when you actually start to get deep into it. But first off, welcome to you guys. Thank you for being a part of XBuild. Thank you for looking at our platform, using it, helping us build something really cool. But yeah, the goal today is to help you get the most out of XBuild. We're going to go over best uses, talk a little bit about the company, some of the new features that are coming out this year, then some of the new features that we just released already this year that are different than last year's stuff. And then give you guys a chance to also talk to us and give us some feedback. And so with that being said, as far as feedback goes, there's like a chat box on the right side there. You guys see that? There's also an area for you to ask questions. So if you guys have questions about things, you can ask those questions as the webinar goes through. We'll try to answer those at the end of today's session and give you guys some practical knowledge that can help you get better at this. But if you got any questions at all, make sure to put those in the chat, in the question area. And but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I see Jim, Zahir, welcome everyone. Thank you guys for being here. And first off, before we get started though, I wanted to take a few minutes before we get into the big XBuild stuff and introduce you guys to one of our founders. Sharuk Khan is with us. And this is pretty cool. And I'm really excited that you joined us, Sharuk. And since I joined the company, I've been very excited about what we're building. But really, it's what you guys have come to our industry with. And, I've been doing this for a really, really long time. And this is something that we've been really, really excited about in our industry because it's such a big deal. So, Sharuk, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, John. And it's pretty incredible stuff that we've been able to accomplish over the short amount of time. And, for those of you that don't know me, I can just give you a little bit of background. My world is all construction. I came out as a project engineer building wind farms and solar farms on site and building heavy civil infrastructure in the Midwest over in Indiana and coming out to the West Coast to build residential and commercial projects. And eventually went on to be, director of innovation for a civil company. And, with every single vertical that I touch, every single project that I was on site on, I always felt that there was just this waterfall of issues that we were just told on site that we had to solve. If something was wrong with the project, it was the site's problem to solve it, or something was wrong with the budget. And, when I eventually started to make my way into the office during the winter months and start doing the estimating and see that world of it, the flip side was also very visible, which was the amount of resources, the amount of time, the amount of knowledge it takes to even put together these estimates at the caliber that we were is immense. It's overwhelming. I mean, I could see the stress in all of our estimators' faces, whether it's a single person trying to put together a bid or a small team. It's just so much that they have to put together and hold to the truth that it's an impossible task. And so all of those assumptions, all of those kind of, problems that you kind of solved, but maybe not had the best experience in, they really just kind of wash out when they get in sight because that problem has to be solved and it has to be done correctly. And the team suffers at the end of it. So we really set out with this company to get the vision of how do you build the perfect estimate? How do you incorporate all of the complexities, all of the knowledge that exists with the superintendents that have built these jobs 100 times over with the estimator's knowledge of the local conditions and specs and special provisions that are needed. And from there, we've actually been able to, with the advancement of AI, be able to generate estimates with AI-driven calculations and research and specifications. So we've been able to crack this first nut into the single source of truth of what an estimate is and be able to deliver it consistently with justification that anyone can read and anyone can follow and give you that thoroughness that everyone's really asking for in the industry. So that was something that, I really wanted to hold as an importance, that this is a construction first product built by people who are from the industry. And being from the innovation departments, I've seen a lot of products that were built by people outside the industry that might have some understanding, but really it's a 50% solution and it doesn't solve the whole problem. So as we continue to grow, as we continue to expand into additional verticals beyond roofing, we go interior, we go to commercial, we go to civil, we go to utilities, you're really just going to see this advancement of thoroughness. And I think we're just going to see a lot of exciting things happen here in the next couple months. So, I really wanted to thank everyone for joining here. You guys are the best part of XBuild, and I really look forward to what we can do together in the future. So, John, with that, I'll let you take it.
Thanks, man. And kind of add to what you just said, because it's pretty incredible. Like, AI is so revolutionary and so powerful, and with this team that we have here, yourself, your brother, Rob, like all the engineers, all the different pieces that are involved, there's not a single tech company in our space that I know of that can do what we're doing, and to do it in the way that we're doing it, and to really tackle this issue from a purely technological standpoint, it's pretty incredible. And so thank you guys for building this product and then, working together to actually solve a massive problem within our industry. So this has been so much fun. So let's just talk real quick about what XBuild is currently and what it's capable of. Because I think I want to make sure that we're all on the same page as to what XBuild is. I think a lot of people look at XBuild as a estimate creation platform, which it is, but it's really a lot more than that. And we want to kind of just make sure that you guys get the full advantage to your business by using XBuild, because it is a huge advantage to your business to have a product like XBuild. So yes, XBuild does use AI to generate estimates for roofing and exterior products. That's been a big part of our business and what we're building here. It's detailed reports. You get the estimate, the photos, the code, weather data, all those things included in these reports, which really gives you a source of truth that is unparalleled. We also offer our supplementing services, which is where we do the actual administrative work for the supplement for you. But that's an ancillary product to what our core thing is, to build the most beautiful estimate. And this goes back to understanding the insurance process and how that works. Insurance is, whenever I talk to contractors about what supplementing is, what insurance related type projects are, it's ultimately about communication. And I believe that the XBuild product gives you the most powerful communication tool in the industry. To generate a report in the same manner that an XBuild report is generated would take a human several hours to do, and we can do it in a matter of less than an hour, give you the right information, the correct data points, that you now have the most powerful tool. And everything about your estimate is so important, because that's what sets the entire tone for that conversation moving forward. The success or failure of a supplement usually begins with what was the estimate that you provided to the insurance company. If you give them a garbage estimate, that's going to set the tone. That's what the adjuster's looking at first. That's what that's how they're basically viewing your company. It's the first impression of your business that they're going to have. And so the more information you're able to give them, the better the results are going to be. And we believe that. We also have some pretty incredible communication tools, file storage, all that cool stuff that helps you guys stay organized in a way that no other platform that exists for supplementing purposes has. And so it's all about the AI driving fast, fair sources of truth estimates. And that's the foundation that we're building this product off of. It's to basically try to reduce the friction as much as we can between insurance companies and contractors. This is a major problem for both sides. And we know that AI is going to look at things from a very subjective nature and just determine, based on the facts that are provided, what should be on that estimate. And that's the whole goal here. The whole goal here is not to try to fluff up estimates, manipulate Xactimate, or try to do things that could be viewed as, whatever the insurance company likes to view things as. It's to actually create a source of truth that is, this is what is actually on this roof. This is what should be included on this project. Here's how it goes. And by doing that, ultimately what that's going to cause, it's going to cause you to have better supplements approved, but ultimately approved faster. We all know that if you get into the weeds with an insurance company, you're going to ultimately probably end up giving up ground anyways. Probably not get those items approved because they know like you're manipulating the platform, which is, Xactimate at this point, or Symbility, or whatever platform you're using to write estimates. This kind of eliminates that gray area and says, okay, let's just cut to the chase. Here's what it really should cost. Here's how Xactimate should be used, or Symbility used properly. Here's where the differences lie, and here's why those differences exist between your estimate and our estimate. That's the entire goal of the platform, is to find that middle ground, get to it quickly, and present it in a way that gives you guys the advantage so you get paid faster. The biggest problem that contractors have is usually cash flow. I've seen sales cycles can take 4 or 5 months sometimes to get a job all the way from lead to completion, and that's absurd. And I don't know how a business is able to operate with those types of sales cycles. So anything that we can do to shrink that time period, and most of that time is spent in negotiation and supplementing and making sure that you're getting paid properly. If we can shrink that time period down for you and help you be a resource to bring decrease that sales cycle time, this is a major win for you guys and should help you as you're growing your businesses. Now, on the flip side of that too, by utilizing a platform like XBuild, not only do you have access to these beautiful, estimates, you now have a reduced burden on your workforce because they're not having to write those estimates. And at the price point that you're able to get an XBuild estimate, it should be a no-brainer to outsource that rather than try to deal with the ebbs and flows. Like we understand your business in that right now we're going into storm season, right? So you're about to ramp up. If you don't have a product like XBuild in your portfolio, that means that you're going to have to hire more people, get ramped up for the season. If you get hit by a storm, you're going to have to ramp up quickly, and you're scrambling to do that. And then come November, December, when things start to slow down, what are you going to do with those people? You have to, typically, most contractors lay them off. They do different things. They try to find things for them to do, or it's just a cost that's sitting on your books for a few months where they're not really doing anything and they're not productive. So it's kind of it's trying to solve this problem from a bunch of different angles, and by outsourcing, you're able to do that. So that's really what is capable within XBuild currently. And so we're going to dive into this, and I want to hit on some major new features that we've added to the platform. If you haven't gotten on the platform, we encourage you to do that. It's completely free at the moment to be on XBuild. Doesn't cost anything. It's a pay-per-use type model, which, once again, that's indicative of what your business structure looks like. I mean, I know that you're not going to use it very much in the winter months, but come storm season, we're going to see this giant rise of use all the way up until September, October, where we'll peak out. That's typically the sales cycle for most of the supplement companies, estimating services that exist. There's going to be this major use case here over the next few months. So there's some big changes though. If you've been using it for a while, or if this, that's the first time you use it, this isn't going to sound like a super big change to you. You're like, this is what I expect this to do. But the platform now does what it's expected to do. Last year, we started building out estimates for contractors. We ran about 4,000 reports through the system. Shruk, am I right?
Yep, that's
roughly
right. 4,700.
4,700 reports went through the system, and what that really gave us was a baseline of what needs to be on there. It gave us a lot of data that we're able to use to train the AI. And so this year, we're 100% AI driven. Okay, what that means for you is that there's a lot less QC. I think for a while it was like the number of the accuracy number just kept getting higher and higher and higher. We went from like 50% to 60% to 70%. Now we're closer to like high 90%, like 97% accuracy, which is a massive improvement. And that basically means like, hey, these reports are pretty much coming out right. So the QC part of this is pretty much diminished down to very few use cases where a human has to step in and make changes to an estimate. Most of the time, the estimate that's produced is now coming back appropriately. So we're able to deliver those to you using the AI from start to finish. That's from actually analyzing your photos, looking at your measurements, writing the Xactimate, actually putting all that data, looking at building codes, all that stuff is being done by AI. It's actually creating the report for you and then sending it back to you. So there's still a lot of steps that are involved in that process, but they're not being done by humans. So that's the first biggest thing. Right now, I've seen estimates coming back in like 30, 40 minutes on some cases. Now, that's not always the case, but we've seen that. And there's a new version that we're getting ready to release in the coming months that we ran some tests with it, and we've been able to get reports back in as little as 12 minutes. So is that going to become the norm? Hopefully that becomes a reality really soon, and that number just keeps shrinking, which is what it should be over time. It's just getting faster data sets. The system still has to analyze every photo. If you give me 300 photos, it's going to take a little bit of time for that system to look at every single photo, scrape it, come up with an analysis of what's on that photo, what needs to be added to the estimate because of that information. You know, it's all subjective to the data set that we get. So the goal here is obviously to get to as close to instant as we can. But we're biting off chunks at a time, basically. As the technology gets better, it gets faster, it gets more advanced, we'll see that number keep going down. Another big change that we've done for this year is you no longer have to, this goes to our, when you're actually putting in a job. If you used our system last year, you would probably know that like you had to enter all these details, give us all this information, and it didn't feel very intuitive, and it wasn't very smart in that regard. So we actually reworked our entire job submission workflow, and I'll walk through that here in a few minutes and give you guys an example of what that looks like. But literally what that means is you're able to upload a scope of loss, a pre-existing loss summary, and say, here's the job that I'm working on, and the AI takes over from there and analyzes that loss, creates all the customer information, pre-fills everything for you. All you got to do is confirm it, and then actually breaks down the trades and all the structures that are on the pre-existing loss for you. You can tell the AI, hey, this is what I'm doing on this trade. This is what I'm doing on this trade. By the way, add this trade, this trade, this trade. I'm not doing this. Makes it really easy for you to structure your estimate, and it's a lot smarter system than what you guys experienced in the past. That was a major improvement for us. We wanted to make sure that from start to finish, we had as much AI integration and make it a smart workflow as we could. So that was a big change. So the report builder is a part of that change. The trade and scope selector, I'll show you guys that here in a minute, and you guys can get a feel for it. Another big change that we made too that just came out, I believe this week, was our instant transition to supplementing. So now you have the ability that if you send us a file that's report only and you decide, you know what, I'd rather transition that job right into supplementing. That used to require an account manager or a customer service person to have to hop in there and actually go through and build that file for you. So it could take a little bit of time. Now you can instantly press a couple buttons and move that job from report only to supplementing. And that allows the system to then start the supplement process for you, moves it along a lot faster. And it also just gives you the ability to do that internally, which is a huge step, I think, in the right direction. It eliminates moments where maybe you just ordered a report and want to see what it looks like, or, you know, just get a report for your own sake and then realize that your supplementers are super, super tied up. You can go ahead and move that right into supplementing and let XBuild handle it from there. That's now a new enhancement for you. So the goal here is faster processing, more bids, more wins. That's for you guys, less admin time, make it easier for you to utilize the system, and go from there. So let me walk through some of these features real quick on the system itself. So can you guys, they can see my screen, Abdel? Okay, cool. So let me go to this screen here. So this is the new job screen. By the way, you see this little yellow box here. If you've been in the system before, this new yellow box is part of the new system. This is where you're able to see, okay, and we're in my demo account here, but you can see where your jobs are that can actually go to supplement. So you just simply click here and it takes it to the insurance company for you if you'd like to. So you can enter the details and go from there. Now, most of the time, some of these details should already be in the system. This job didn't have, this was a sample job that I just pulled up. So it didn't have any details. But if those already exist, I can go back to a different job and do it just so that we can all get on the same page here. But any one of your jobs can do that. So let's, like, for example, this job right here, it's able to go. Now I use the fake insurance company, so that's why it's asking me for that. But the claim number's there. You just check the box and you can now move that job into supplementing. So it's a lot faster and easier to do than it was before. So that's one of the big features we introduced. And then the other one that we introduced is the job submission. So I'm going to walk through this real quick. If you click on new job now, you're going to see that this screen pops up rather than a bunch of information. Now you can still start a job without a pre-existing loss, and you can walk through and fill out the details manually, but it's a much easier way to do it where you're just able to simply upload a loss summary. So I'll grab a loss summary here real quick and quickly be able to determine what's on that system. The system's going to read it. It's going to scan your scope, determine what trades are on there, all the pieces that you need to do. And then if you look to the left here, there's also these little navigation deals right here. This kind of tells you what step in the process you're in, which is kind of nice because you can move back and forth through these steps as you progress. So if you realize, hey, I need to add something to this, you can go back and add something and you're not going to lose your place. Like all the data that you've already uploaded is still there. So you're able to quickly do that. And so now the AI is telling you, hey, this is the address of the home. This is what codes have been adopted. This is the claim information, the claim number, the data loss, what type of scope was written, and then the price list that was used. And the logic behind that is actually what many contractors, what I myself do when I look at a scope. What am I really looking for there? I want to know what price list they used. I want to see the data loss. I want to see who's insured. All the things that I've learned to do over years of doing this service, I want to know exactly what's going on. And then I want to see what structures were included. So for example, this one had a main dwelling with roofing, windows, doors, gutters, downspouts, and exterior painting on the scope. I knew that the RCV is $17,000. So if you're hiring new people, for example, or you have a new admin in the office, or someone doesn't know how to read a scope, the AI is going to give you that high-level analysis of it, so you got a good starting point, a good idea of where we're at. And then you just simply submit the job, and this is going to start the process for you now to actually be able to confirm that information. You can put the homeowner's email address, CRM link, if you have one on that job. So if you're integrated with our CRM partners with Job Nimbus, AccuLinks, RoofLink, you're able to quickly drop that link in there if you want to. But most of the stuff's optional. So like the sales rep is optional, but if you had a sales rep on the job that you wanted to assign this to, you can do that, and you can see the initial inspection date if you wanted to as well. But that way you're able to customize this how you want. Insurance claim information's here. So they got all the stuff here. Now, this one this isn't a real claim, so I think we removed all the insurance information, but most of the time it'll actually give you the carrier information as well. But then you can move right through the process. Now, I want to talk about measurements for a second, because measurements is an area that contractors struggle with. Now, understand, like, XBuild can read any measurement report that you give us. So you can give us a roof R, Eagle View, roof scope, GAF quick measure, whatever measurement report that you're used to using within your ecosystem can be uploaded to XBuild. Just give us the PDF, the system will read it. If you don't have it, though, it does require a measurement report. So we will order one for you if you'd like us to. We'll just pass that cost to you. We'll order an Eagle View on your behalf, basically. But the thing about that is, and where I always like to put the caveat there is, remember, this is an AI platform. So if you make us have to go order an Eagle View, expect that the turnaround time will be a lot slower, because now we have to wait for that Eagle View to come back. And we all know it takes sometimes 4 hours. Sometimes it could take a day to get an Eagle View back. But in this case, it's something that if you give us this information up front, you're going to see a lot faster turnaround time. So it's not like a huge deal for most contractors, but if speed is a big deal, have that report ready to go. Most contractors already have it ready to go. Make sure to upload that, and that way we can get that information to you as quickly as possible and get right into generating a report. We're not waiting around for things. So at this point, the AI is going to do the same exact thing. It's going to scan that measurement report, extract the details off of it, and show you exactly what that measurement report has. So this is just a confirmation page necessarily, but there's really, it's just basically telling you what's on that Eagle view or whatever measurement report that you already have. So there's all of our totals, suggested waste, all that stuff's in there. You're good to go. You can move forward. So, and then we'll talk about photos real quick. So the next step is photos. Photos are extremely important, obviously, to this process. We like close-up photos, wide shots. We want to see the roof. If you need a checklist of what photos to include in your report, I can get with your account manager. We can get a checklist out to you so that you can train your people on what to do. You can build out company cam templates for these. Whatever you want to do is up to you, but there's a lot of different ways to get photos. Now, to get photos to us, we have a few different options. You can use a company cam link. You can use a Google Drive link. You can also upload the photos directly to the system, or you can do what we highly don't recommend you do, but it is possible for us to write an estimate without photos, okay? For the sake of this demo today, I'm just going to write it without photos. And once again, it's going to tell you we don't recommend you doing this, but photos are very important. Now, how many photos? That's a subjective question. Obviously, the more photos you give us, the better. But that's completely, I know the nature of the beast when it comes to sales reps, when it comes to photos, when it comes to the amount of detail that's taken. I see anywhere on a good file, I'd say typically you'd see 50 to 75 good photos on there. A very good photo taker is going to do 100, 200 photos. It's really, it depends on the size of the project and so many factors. But if you want help with that specific thing, we're more than happy to help you. If you want us to get on a call with your team and talk about it, your account managers can do that. They can hop on a call. They can discuss this. They can make sure that everyone's on the same page and understands that even a human's going to need to have a good amount of photos. So just think of it that way. So, and then we go into the actual report builder, and this is the finalized. This is one of the final steps here, and all we need to know is what you're doing on the trades. This is important because I know that if you're a roofing contractor, for example, you might not be doing exterior painting. No big deal. But because these trades existed in the original scope, we need to know specifically like what you're doing and what do you want us to do with those trades. This is the same thing that you would tell a person, a human, what to do. It's the same exact thing. Just tell us what you're going to do. So if you're doing roofing, for example, most of the time you're going to supplement the roof part. And then we just need to know some very basic details. And the biggest reason we need to know this, and I'm going to throw this out there, most of the time you're doing a full replacement. If you're doing a partial, let us know. Or if you're doing a repair job, let us know. But we need to know the material, especially if it's a laminate shingle. And the reason being is there's so many grades of laminate shingle that if I were to set two shingles up here right now and say, okay, this one is I'll use Malarkey for the sake of it, although I'm wearing an Atlas hat. If I had a Malarkey Highlander in this hand and I had a Malarkey Legacy in this hand, these are two very different shingles. Now, I even shouldn't say that because they're actually kind of similar nowadays because there's class 3 and class 4. But if I had, let's say, a GAF HDZ in one hand and I had their armor shield in this hand, they're going to look very similar, but they're actually very different. So the AI can't tell based on the photos if this is a class 4 shingle or if this is just a regular laminate standard grade shingle. So if it's a standard grade shingle, just tell the AI, hey, this is a standard grade roof. But if it's a high impact resistant, it's some sort of premium shingle or some premium impact resistant deluxe shingle, whatever, tell us about that. If it's some crazy designer slate, shake, look, whatever shingle, just tell the AI. Most of the time it can pick that up, but at the same time, just give us a confirmation as to what's on that roof. You should know what's on that roof way better than we will, and this will give us the correct line items being applied to that specific roof. And you can get deeper into this, as deep as you want. The other big thing here is if there's multiple layers, it's very hard for us to detect that most of the time. So if you can tell us, hey, this roof does have an additional layer of this or whatever, just tell us so we can make sure that those are added to it. Now, everything below here is optional, but if you want to get super granular about the roof system itself, you can. And you can basically toggle within these options and add as many things as you want to add. Now, some of this stuff's already been added. But at the same time, like you're more than welcome to fix all this stuff and to customize it however you want to go, and give us as many details as you want. But once again, like I said, this is optional. Most of the time, we're able to deduct that off of the photos and off of the information that we have. We can come up with those numbers. But if you want to get granular and be like, hey, make sure you don't miss this cricket, or make sure that we don't skip over I don't know, there's a million different options in here. Decking is a big one. If you see rotted decking, let us know that we need to work on that decking. So you can tell us, hey, this roof does need some decking replacement. We got a photo of space decking, so we want to do a full replacement on the decking, or we want to replace 10 sheets. Make sure to add that in there so that we can apply that to your estimate. So, but this is all, like I said, optional from here on out. So once you've saved all the trades, you'll see these little check boxes here that click on. That basically means that you're good on that trade. Any exclamation point, that means we need to know a little bit more information. So windows and doors, you can always go through and say, hey, you know what, we're not doing that, but we want to copy and paste that area over. That's typically what most contractors like to do. Just go ahead and say, hey, keep this section as is. We're not doing it, but keep it as is so we don't supplement that part of the file, okay? And then you're also able to add additional trades. So currently the AI is trained on roof, siding, and gutters. Any other trades that you add to this system, so like siding, there's no charge for it, but if we are adding interior, for example, we do have a lot of manual effort that gets done into those trades. So we do have a small surcharge for those. Decks, fencing, solar, exterior paint, windows, doors, interior, that's a surcharge. But if you look, roofing, siding, gutters, there is no surcharge involved there. So you'll never be charged for those trades. And then if you want to add more structures, because everything on this report generator is based off of structures primarily, and then trades secondary. So if you decide, hey, look, we need to add another structure to this, you can select within the structures that are included, or you can click other and name the structure you want, whatever you want to name it. So same thing applies. Once you add a structure, it'll give you the option to add those trades to this estimate as well. So there's no charge for additional structures as long as it falls with the roof, siding, and gutters. If it's additional structures with additional trades, there might be additional charges for that. And then the final step that you're going to have here is you're going to basically select, do you want an Xactimate? Do you want a Symbility? Symbility is still being trained at the moment, so we haven't had as many Symbility files as we had Xactimate, but we're working on that as fast as we can. And then you're able to select if you're going to do a report only or a supplement on this file. And then if you have any additional notes about the job that you want the AI to be aware of, go ahead and type them in here. You can, whatever information you have, you can say, hey, I have a bid item for some copper. I'm going to include that separately so that the AI knows, hey, I got to go find that copper bid real quick out of the document file. So once you select that, go to checkout, and you're basically have submitted a job at that point to XBuild. At that point, XBuild is going to go. It's going to do all of its magic and get you guys set up, create this report for you. So those are the biggest changes. Now, if you haven't been in the platform, I want to give you a quick rundown of this platform so that you have an idea, but it's one of the best, easiest to use platforms I've seen in our industry as far as software goes. So on the left here, you've got your jobs, your team, your payments, your settings. Settings is a big thing that we're working on right now. So if you haven't uploaded your logo, make sure that you have a logo in there, because that's going to directly correlate to what is written on the estimate. If you want your logo to show up on the Xactimate portion on the cover page of the estimate, make sure to include that. You want to make sure that your organization settings are there. If you have multiple locations, different things, make sure that that's included. And then your billing settings is the last one. But within those settings, we're able to also set your parameters for you. So if you have certain parameters that you want XBuild to follow when it comes to writing your Xactimates, we can set those parameters up manually. At the moment, we're building out a parameter worksheet, so you'll be able to select those parameters and customize how those estimates are written every single time, and it's going to get a lot more granular for you so that you can set those. Now, I say that the parameters is where you guys get to basically create your custom version of XBuild. A lot of people say, well, you know, if it's going to generate a basic estimate, which XBuild by default is going to generate an estimate based on what it sees, based on the building codes, based on the information that's provided. But if you want to get granular, say, hey, we always use a catch-all. Cool. Put that in there. Always apply X amount of dollars for a landscape protection company or whatever you have. Like, you can start to set those. Now, we're going to build that into a much more structured way for you to do that. But currently, just let your account manager know, hey, this is what we do. And that way they can go ahead and add those to the system. And then when you're in the dashboard, let's go to a job here. What's cool about our dashboard too is that there's full transparency to everything. So you're going to be able to see all the activity, every communication, everything that's done. Now, if you're in supplementing on a job, this is where the real magic is, because you're never have to wonder like, hey, have they called the insurance company? Have they received what communication has been going on back and forth? You can actually see all the communication that's happening between us, our team, and the insurance company at any given moment, any given time. So there's no need to like wonder, are they actually handling this file? You can see every email that's sent, every email that's received. You can see phone calls. You can get a feel for what's going on with that file at any given moment, which is a huge advantage to you guys, since you are XBuild users, to have that level of detailed information. It's been historically really hard for contractors to communicate with a supplement service, and to get that level of transparency up until now, because we offer this this dashboard and this ability. This is a huge win for you guys. And then you also are, if you haven't dove deep into this, you actually get all the PDFs of every piece of information that the report generates, not just the full report, but breakdowns of those PDFs individually. So if you're hitting file limitations with insurance companies because the report is too long, you're still always able to go back and pull the individual reports and cut them up if you needed to. So you get the scope PDFs. You get, for example, this one's got a photo report, building code report, the full XBuild report. You get the scopes, you get the measurements, the weather PDF, and then also a cool feature is that you get these ESX files and this CSV file. So CSV files is basically going to tell you what line items we used. The ESX files are so that you can download those, put them into your own Xactimate, and have a starting point if you wanted to make further tweaks to the Xactimate itself. So that's kind of a breakdown of what the system looks like and what it's capable of doing. Once you get into it a little further, there's all kinds of different things that you can add. You can also, I didn't kind of skipped over this, but you can actually see the photos and actually get a feel for what the labels are that were applied to these photos. So if you click on verified, it's going to show you all the photos. Now, when you first set up your job and you were to go in here, you would see basically like a spinning wheel in all of these photos as the AI is reading the photos in real time. Once the checkbox is there, that means that the AI has read that photo, has looked at it and said, okay, this job has shingles, this photo has gutters. And also, if you look at here, like the AI has looked at this and said, oh, there's granule loss to these shingles, right? That means that's a good indicator of something we want to see. Those are going to show up on the labels when the photo report is generated. So you don't have to label your photos. The AI is going to be able to label them. It's going to look at a photo and say, this is a main house photo. It's going to look at, front of house, what elevation, right, front right corner. All those are labeled by the AI as it looks at your photos, and it puts it in a nice order for you too when it actually generates the report. So it's not just a bunch of photos being sent to the insurance company. It's a logical photo report with, inspection photos, presentation of damage photos, gutter photos, all the different pieces, all separated out so that ultimately the ultimate goal is that when an adjuster opens that file, they have everything they need to check their boxes to approve this job. All right. So that's a pretty high overview of what this platform is capable of. I'll show you guys a report. I'm sure most of you have seen these. You guys are all power users, but our reports are really comprehensive. You've got, your cover page, your summary page. You've got the actual Xactimate. The Xactimate is broken down just like a human would do, with items that were copy and pasted from the estimate, adjusted items, supplement items, all that stuff. You're also going to have, your measurement reports included in there, whatever measurement reports you provided. And if we got an Eagle view, it'll have an Eagle view in there. The building code. Now, when you look at this building code report, this is really just a summary of the building codes that were applied to this address. It's not the full building code report, but within the system, you actually get the full building report, which in this case is like a 30-page long, very comprehensive building code summary of that address. So you can always submit that as well. This is more building code stuff for this specific address. And then you've got the actual weather data. Now in this one, because of the size of the photos, if you guys looked at this again, I had 360 photos on this. Huh? Oh, give me 1 second. Apparently you guys can't see this, so I'm not sure why. Did it just lock up? Let me, there we go. Can you see it now? Yeah? No? I wonder why. Let me reshare real quick. I'll share this screen one more time. Sorry about that, guys. Can you see it now? Okay, sorry about that. So within the system, you can actually go through the photos and pull the actual photo report. But if I'm sorry, looking at the wrong screen, aren't I? Let me spool that up. Okay. So you can see that there's 350 in here. This is a big file. So it didn't add all the photos to the main report, but it actually still has a photo report. So it's just a separate file. That way it's smaller and can be more condensed, and you can send that to the insurance company. But this is still a 350-page photo report. So it's pretty unreal. So, and then if you guys, I guess you guys didn't see this one either. So this is the actual report. My bad. This is the cover page, summary page, the actual Xactimate, broken down just like you would want to see with all of the different line items and everything there, adjusted items, supplement items, F9 notes, all the pieces that are required when you're submitting this to an insurance company. The Eagle View's in here. Go back through it real quick. And then there's the code information. Like I said, this is a summary of the codes. So what codes are applied to this specific address. And we use our own code library. I know that's always a question people ask, where are you guys pulling codes? We have our own internal code library that we keep updated and maintain ourselves. Code standards, and then a weather report. So there's a lot of different pieces to this estimate, but if you give this to an insurance company, this should check all the boxes. It should be comprehensive enough. So, all right. So yeah, so all the files are here. That photo report's here. It's got all the different pieces. So hopefully that helps you guys get a feel for what the platform itself looks like. And it's by far one of the coolest things about our business. So, all right, let's, I'm going to come back over here. Joseph Miller, I see your question real quick. Oh yeah, by the way, this is being recorded, so you guys will all have access to this. So that's, yeah, I'll make sure you guys do that. I'll kind of come through the chat real quick and we'll back up. So Joseph Miller, integrations with Leap, job progress. I am working on Leap currently. So I have a conversation that we started at IRE. They are super interested. So we're going to have that integration coming out pretty quickly here. So I'm working on that one right now. Expect that over, we probably will start a light integration right away and then move forward from there. So I see that, Paulina, you asked about AccuLinks. So we are working on a further integration. We currently have an integration with AccuLinks, but it's going to get better as it goes. What we're pushing right now back and forth is comments in some files, but that is deepening. We've just really started getting deeper with them, and especially Job Nimbus, AccuLinks are two of the big primary ones that we're working on much deeper integrations with. So that's happening as well. Rocky, that's a weird bug that you guys uploaded this to the AI and it couldn't read it. We're working on that. If that happens, will you let us know? Because we can try to flag that as a bug in the system. Not sure if maybe the format was weird or something interesting, but we can definitely look into that. I appreciate that feedback. That's actually really, really vital for us. So, Alexander, do we need to still pay for? So we are Xactimate, or can we use this in lieu? Xactimate, that's really up to you. A lot of contractors still maintain an Xactimate license for one-offs and for different things. That's completely up to you if you want to just use our platform and not use Xactimate, but we do give you the ESX file so that you can upload those into your Xactimate and work with them, but that's completely up to you. RoofR, so we can accept RoofR files as far as their measurement reports. We don't have a direct integration with them either yet, but that is also on our list of integrations that we're working on. So I'm working on RoofR right now. I've had a few conversations with them. Started back at RoofCon, so we're just finishing up some pieces with them as well. So, All right. Job Nimbus. I see Greg Martin, you asked a question here. We use Job Nimbus. Do you link to our CRM, or does the communications only show on the XBuild dashboard? So Job Nimbus, we're working really diligently with them on building out a massive integration. Currently, the integration with Job Nimbus, we have a partnership agreement with them. We're actually going to be doing a webinar with them next month in April for Job Nimbus users specifically. But we do have a integration where we are able to push back and forth a lot of the comments. We're working on expanding that integration to files and different things, but it's working through their APIs currently, and then as the build out rolls out, it'll probably be, we know we have to work with their engineering team as well as our engineering team to build those out. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's definitely on the horizon. So all right guys. So but yeah, this is the platform. If you guys have any other questions, I see there's still some people typing. I'll answer those here live as well. But it's one of those things that in my history of doing this for I started in 2000. So what is that? 25 years now. This is the first time I've seen something like this come into our space, and it's really exciting. We through the history, like I've worked with some of the biggest supplement companies in the country, was one of the partners at Balance Claims for a while. We wished for something like this years ago, and it's not as easy to build as you'd think. We spent a lot of money, a lot of resources trying to figure out a way to do this, and this was a few years ago. The technology really wasn't there yet as it is today. In today's environment, it's still a very difficult thing to build, but it's pretty impressive that it's now capable to not just create these reports, but analyze everything, look at everything logically, and kick back a report that's this comprehensive using AI 100% of the way. I'm still like in disbelief thinking about the fact that this is even an option. So I hope this has been helpful. So Rocky, you said you use RoofR for measurements. When we upload the measurements, it gets rejected. Yeah, so let me walk through this real quick. So you can always use a different option for that. They shouldn't be getting rejected though. Shruk, I think we should take a note of this real quick. But let me pull up that job real quick. So inside of this system, you're actually able to upload any documents you want that are additional. So after you're done, let me close this out real quick. So you can add documents, whatever type of documents you want to add to the file. If you just simply click on documents inside the job and hit add, you can add anything. You can add bids. You can add a measurement report if it didn't for some reason take it. You can add anything you need to add to this job so that it's all there. We're going to figure out why our RoofR is going to reject. That's the first I'm hearing of that. So if there's a bug, we need to fix that right away. But yeah, as long as you're uploading the PDF version of the RoofR report, it should accept it. Any PDF version, the only thing I could think that potentially could be something that isn't being done correctly is that if you're uploading like an XML document or one of the weird versions of those reports, it will reject those. But as long as it's a PDF, it should accept it. So maybe we'll look into that. But yeah, you can add any documents that you want to add once the job's been created into that actual job file. So that's easy. Okay, so it's picking it up as an additional doc. Okay, Rocky, I'm going to look into that because that's a huge deal. All right, Gregory asked about choice. Is there for interior damage, plaster or drywall only? So let's pull one of these up real quick. We can look at what's currently existing. So, and you can do this on any job. So I'm going to pull up the scope parameters. So you can edit the scope parameters after the job's been submitted. So if we go to the main dwelling and we go to interior, we can kind of see what the options are that exist within interior for the main dwelling. So yeah, this isn't working. Sure, fix that too. But I know that within interior, it's more subjective to what you see because interior is so like, we're in this room right now, it's drywall, but if it's plaster, there's no way that a camera is going to say this is a plaster wall. There's no way that we're going to be able to tell what type of trim, for example, is on that job. So as long as you give us the details, we can write it. Now, as we build out the AI part of this, those options are going to exist further, but we just need to know essentially what details are included inside of the actual, the room itself. And you can give us plaster, drywall, whatever you want, and be able to tell us that information. So, all right, what else we got in here? But yeah, for interior, just give us a synopsis of it and we can go for there. What's the cost for XBuild supplementing jobs, minimum charges, et cetera? So the cost right now is 10% of the increase. We're actually finalizing our minimum charges and reworking that right now at the moment. So I'm not going to speak too heavy on that right now. Currently, it's showing that there's a $400 minimum charge, but usually that's for canceled jobs. There's some gray area there that we need to really communicate to you guys, and we have it. So I have it in a document right now, but we're putting it into a straight up price sheet that you'll have that'll explain the supplementing process. We should have that by the end of the week. So I'll make sure that we get that communicated to you guys as they come up. So Greg, how much is the upcharge for interior damages? So currently it's $15 per room. So depending how many rooms you need us to write an estimate for, we can. The biggest thing I'm going to say about that is the turnaround time's a little bit slower because we're still training the AI on how to do those rooms. So there's a lot of QC that's happening on the back end for those. And it's a lot of manual QC. So as we get better and better, that charge should eventually go away. But it's currently $15. So I see Elements typing. I'll let them ask that question. And then we could hopefully answer as many of these as we can today. Shirk, do you have anything you want to add before this? Okay, Element Pros, what is regular pricing to start a job? Off the shelf, once you sign up for the system, if it's roof, siding, and gutters, it's $99. Now, if you're hitting us with a bunch of volume and you're doing 200 roofs a month or something crazy, like, let's talk. But right now, it's $99 per report. There is no sign up fee or subscription fee at this time. So what if the supplement is $400 on approval, the $400 million still applied? Rocky, that's something that I'll communicate that within the next day or so to everybody. We'll get a file over to Abdiel and he can send that out to our entire customer base, but it's not exactly like that. So that doesn't make sense for anybody. So, but I'll get you a full breakdown of that. We'll get it to the entire customer base. So,
yeah, and Gregory, it's a great question about the interior. You know, as we continue to expand the interior capabilities of the AI, what we're always looking for are strong development partners. So if you have things that you're seeing in your estimate or want to see in it, just contact us and we'll be able to train the AI with kind of what you see as the right way to do things.
Yeah, that's good. We do need help with that. That and commercial roofing, by the way.
Yeah. The more trades that you guys see that AI has potential in, and I think from everyone that I've spoken to, even on this call, the more trades are being touched by AI, the better. And so the more data that we can get to the AI and feed it and train it from this community, from you guys, that's just what's going to make things stronger and stronger for you. So anyone who wants to be a development partner, you know, just reach out to us or we can reach out to you, and we'd love to kind of help get that data and build this thing out in your image.
Cool. All right, guys. Anything else on your any water damage estimates? Shreek, you want to answer about water damage?
Yeah, so water damage is one of the next ones that's coming up. So we have the framework for water damage, and we have basically the parameter set of what the line items are going to be. We want to start running those tests. So again, Nigel, we'll reach out to you directly and we'll run those tests by you. And anyone who wants to have some estimates run by XBuild in this beta format, just put a comment in the chat and we'll definitely reach out to you.
Yeah, Gregory, same thing for you. I mean, if you're in Florida and you got a lot of hurricane losses, we know that they involve a lot of interior work. So same thing, like if there's more data sets, more data development that we can get, we definitely can start building that out. So awesome. All right, anything else, guys? Great. Well, I hope this was helpful. If you guys are Job Nimbus users, or you don't have to necessarily be a Job Nimbus user, we'll send some communication out here in the next week or so about the April 15th webinar we're going to have with them. We're going to talk a little bit more about insurance work in general and then how to utilize XBuild. So it's going to be a little bit broader brush that we're going to discuss some things and some best practices. But that'll be a great opportunity for you guys to, we could talk a little bit more about the APIs. I'll have a lot more information about what's capable at that point, because we're developing some pieces in the meantime to strengthen that partnership and that API integration that as much as we can between now and then. So hopefully during that one, we'll have some more announcements for you guys when it comes to that specific integration. We love working with the CRMs that you guys use currently. The goal here is that we don't try to reinvent the wheel for you. We want to make this as frictionless as possible for everybody. And we know that a lot of your data lives within CRMs. So that's a big push for me and my team as we continue to make this easier for you guys to use our system and make it more seamless so that, you know, this becomes second nature. Like, hey, like I need a report. Let's just get a report and move on so that you don't have to fill out a whole bunch of stuff and take a bunch of time filling it out. So we've done we've made a lot of strides when it comes to the input of the data. Now the goal is to make it even easier for you guys. And remember, at the end of the day, like this is AI. And so this is just like, if you think about AI, most people have a lot of experience with, for example, ChatGPT. Since AI has come to the forefront of society, I think what I've learned from it is that I have to learn how to ask better questions and how to get better answers. If I were to ask, for example, ChatGPT, hey, like, give me a summary of whatever, or like, hey, write an email to Sharuk. It's going to just write an email to Sharuk about something random because it doesn't know what I'm at. There's no context to it. But if I specifically say, hey, I need to draft an email to cover these subjects right here, it will draft that email in a way that has a very detailed use of everything. So at the end of the day, like this is the same concept with us, is interacting with AI is a little bit different because it can't read your mind. So you have to still give it the right data points. But the better you are at giving us data, the better the results are going to be on the back end. If you give us the minimum amount of data, the AI is going to make a lot of assumptions that sometimes may not be 100% accurate. But if you give us a good amount of photos, you give us the right information, the AI is going to be pretty spot on to what you're trying to accomplish there. And so it's just a different way of interacting with technology to get a better result. And so it's one of those things. So I encourage you guys to use the platform, break it, give us some feedback, tell us what needs to be better. We're very open to that. We love getting feedback from our customers, from you guys specifically, because we know at the end of the day, it's got to be super beneficial for you for it to work. We can't build something that's beneficial to us or to what we think you guys want. We need to know what you want. So the more feedback that we can get, connect with your account managers, connect with the people that you're dealing with here at the company. We have a new customer service line as well. But if there's certain things that you see, shoot me an email. Let me know what's going on. I'd be more than happy to answer those questions. And if I don't have an answer, I'll tell you I don't have an answer, but I'll do my best to find an answer for you, or at least let you know that we're gonna figure that problem out. So we're pretty big about making sure that communication channel stays as open as possible with you guys, so that we can give you guys the best possible experience. So, but yeah, thank you guys for being on here today. Hopefully this has been helpful. I know the season is kicking off. Dallas got smashed, and if you guys are like us, you're watching all the weather reports and kind of hoping that there's more stuff coming. It looks like this weekend there's going to be a lot of storms coming. So we fully anticipate that you guys are going to be super busy here in the next few months. And we want to be your partner to help you guys scale faster, be able to get more capacity. Obviously, the more tools like this that you introduce to your systems, you guys are here for a reason. You want to scale faster. You want to be able to do more things. This will allow you to do that and make this year one of the best years for everybody, for you guys. And we want to really see this thing take off for the industry and really support the roofing community and the insurance restoration contractors out there the best way that we can. It's ultimately about providing you guys with something that is completely revolutionary and that can hopefully help transform your business and give you guys more of your time back so you can sell more roofs and do the stuff that you guys do. So, so that's what technology is. And I'm thankful that we're here. I'm thankful that this exists. And we're open to all types of criticism, feedback, compliments. The team likes compliments, but we also like criticism and feedback because that helps us so much to make the product what it really needs to be. So thank you guys for being a part of this. Reach out if you have any questions. If you haven't signed up for the platform, I don't know if anyone in here hasn't. Go ahead and sign up. Get started. Your first one is 3. Rocky, this is a great piece of feedback. You've been with 3 supplement companies so far. XBuild is the best you found so far. Man, thank you so much for that. That means a lot. Supplementing is not the easiest thing in the world, and so if we're able to keep rocking on that side of things, that helps tremendously. But truthfully, I believe that our supplement process is more successful, faster because of the report that we generate. I think there's a direct I know for sure there's a direct correlation between the two. Working in this field, I've been supplementing since 2009. I know how important the report creation part of this is. And so thank you for that feedback, Rocky. That's our goal, is to provide the best possible service to our customers. And I'll get that price sheet out to you guys, like I said, no later than tomorrow afternoon, and that way you guys have a good idea of what that part of the business looks like if you guys decide to utilize that service. So, all right, guys, well, thank you so much. I'll let you guys get back to your day, and the recording will be up here shortly, so you guys can rewatch this webinar as many times as you want. So, all right, thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you guys soon.